Subscribe to Film Companion for your film fix. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Vijay, welcome to Mumbai. Such a pleasure to catch you here. I know you're in and out, and I know you're working against time because you have to catch a flight, but I have so much to ask you. Starting with, we're only a few days away, literally 2 days away from Dear Comrade, which I believe is one of the biggest Telugu releases ever, dubbed in 4 languages.
Oh yeah, other than the film Bahubali, this is the first film that's being released across all 4 languages parallelly on the same day.
And is this a larger design to expand the footprint for you?
I think it's definitely one reason, because when you become an actor, you want a full auditorium, you want large audiences, you want and now because Telugu is 2 states, you wanted to reach more people. Not every film you can do that with, but this film was started off as a Telugu film. Halfway through shooting it, we realized that my cameraman is Malayali, my editor is Malayali, my music director is Tamil, my actress is Kannadiga. And we realized that this is something, we love the output, and we realized this is something that works across regions irrespective of language, and we thought, why do we restrict it, why don't we take it? And I also I think I've gotten used to Telugu releases, and I think I needed stress of some kind. So I spoke to my producers and said, can we try this? I want to do this with this film, and they were completely supportive. And we are attempting this. This is the first time we're doing it, so we will understand how it works, what is the payoff. It's a lot of effort, which we realized, but we'll see.
What brings you to Mumbai? You've always said that I'll do what I'm doing in Hyderabad and my cinema will reach where it has to,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So what brings you here?
I had absolutely no idea I would be doing an interview today. I came in, I was supposed to stay here 5 hours and fly out. I am here because
you're too famous to come in and fly out now. You know that.
I didn't think I'll speak to anyone else. I had come to meet Karan. Karan wanted to watch Dear Comrade, and we've been meeting, and he's become a friend. And he's bought the film. Dear Comrade will be remade in Hindi. I won't be doing it. Yeah, so that was why I was here. So I stepped in, I went to his office. I was so underslept since the last 1 week. So I started the film. I said, are you guys okay? And they were okay. And I went to his room and slept on the couch. And then 1 hour nap later, I suddenly woke up thinking, where am I? Don't I have a release in a few days?
Why am I sleeping?
Yeah, I'm like, first I was like, where am I? I was sleeping on a couch. I didn't realize the geography of the room. Then I'm like, oh fuck, this is Karan Johar's office. And then I got up and I saw my phone, and I had people from across Bombay saying, can we talk to you? We know you're in Bombay, we're here. I'm like, why does everyone know?
Because
it was supposed to be a secret. Yeah, because...
and we all follow Viral Biyani. Come on. It was public news within a few seconds of you landing.
I'm actually glad. I think it's serving a purpose, no? This I just met Vasan because of being pabbed. We are doing this interview because of being pabbed. I think they're serving some purpose in this ecosystem.
Absolutely. And does the experience of being here sort of make you want to try Hindi as well? Is it interesting at all? Or is it? It is.
It is. Doing Hindi is interesting, but I want to do something... I want to do something that is Telugu and Hindi, something that works back home and here. I don't see myself shifting base, taking an apartment here. I can't, my friends are back home. I love the laid back, lazy lifestyle. I can't walk every day to 5 guys photographing me, and
you just said it serves a purpose.
It serves a purpose, yeah, but not. I don't think I'd like it every day. And I think Mumbai is too fast for me. I like to do things on my own terms. I think now cinema has reached a space where you don't have to be in Bombay to make. It's beautiful that we are all so aware of each other and so connected to each other, and so respectful of each other's art and this thing that. it's such a cool space, man.
It's
Just
lovely.
today I was thinking it's become such a nice
And we'll all
system.
only gain from it.
Yes,
You know?
yeah.
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's just so exciting that people are having these conversations.
Yes.
You know, that you can be sleeping in Karan Johar's office.
Yeah.
Tell me, Vijay, I'm very curious that you said no to doing Kabir Singh, right? You were offered that film.
Yeah.
You don't want to do a remake of Dear Comrade. These would be obvious, easy ways to become a Hindi film hero. Why don't you want to do it?
Because I didn't want to become a Hindi film hero. I wanted to become an actor. I wanted to tell stories. And I see no point in telling the same story twice. And I spend so much energy on a film when I do it. I can't redo the entire emotion, beats. I can't put myself through that again. And it's not exciting for me because I know the scene, I know everything. It's exciting no longer. And there are so many interesting stories that are there that I wouldn't want to waste 6 more months of my time doing the same thing. And if there are other actors who are excited by it, it's much nicer because you need to be excited.
It's fresh for them.
Yeah, it's fresh for them, and they might have a new approach, or it'll fit some peg in their this thing. So yeah, I can't get myself to someone. It doesn't interest me as much. That's the only reason why Karan asked me, will you do Dear Comrade? I was like, no, please. But I have other scripts that we can look at, but not this. So, yeah.
But your character in Dear Comrade seems pretty angry too. Is anger something that you're sort of attracted to in characters, or is it something that comes naturally to you as an actor? I mean, you know, from what I've seen in the trailer, he seems like another angry young man.
I understand when you ask this question because you've seen Arjun Reddy and you've seen Kabir Singh, but after Arjun Reddy, I did a bunch of 3 films which were
completely different.
Which
Geeta
were
Govindam and all.
and Nota and another film called Taxi Wala, which were completely different. But then I get asked this question back home by the media.
Maybe because Arjun Reddy is such a larger than life impact.
Yeah, I was like, but I did these films. No, I asked them and they're like, yes. And then they stopped. But then I was asked in Chennai, I was asked in Hyderabad, I was asked everywhere. It's like, why is then I blame it on, I think the images Arjun Reddy left are etched so strongly that anything I do similar brings an immediate deja vu. It's like, oh, he's doing this again. So I blame it on the impact that film left. But I can't wait for people to forget it. It's a very special film, but I can't wait for people to forget it and remember other films of mine as fondly or as impactfully.
Yeah. But of course, here it also made impact. You know, there was negative impact as well, or impact which was negative noise. Were you surprised, Vijay, at all by that? Did you, because you didn't see so much of it when Arjun Reddy released. Were you surprised at the reaction to Kabir?
Not so much, actually. I'm like, now a bunch of things. I didn't see the Hindi film.
Of course, You said you've seen it, you've done it, you have no interest.
Yeah, as in I've done it and we watch films for a story, and if I've done it, lived like, people still, these guys in the airport are calling me Arjun. I don't want to, I know the film. So Telugu has certain number of people and certain number of reporters and journalists. When you come to Hindi, the number of audiences more, the number of journalists are more, and the number of criticism is directly proportional. It is going to be more. Yes, the kind of criticism was slightly different. I got some of this criticism, but it wasn't as articulate maybe. It wasn't as articulate, and I guess the number of female journalists here are way more, and not only, I think lots of men also picked up on it, but I'm okay with it. I'm like, it's completely okay to have a problem with a character like Arjun. These people, if they met Arjun in their real life, they wouldn't like him.
Sure.
So you don't like him in the film. and that's not a problem to me.
No, because Sandeep was very, very perturbed by it. And he told me that if the film hadn't done so well at the box office, he said it would have really made me question my instincts as a storyteller. Do you think that he shouldn't be responding like that? Should he just say, well, that's your opinion and move on?
I'm also talking to it today after it made like 250 odd crores. So maybe if you asked me, if the film didn't do this much money and you asked me, I don't know if my response would be different. But I understand completely that if it is your film and the first day, 250 crores came over a period of 3 weeks, 1 month, but the reviews come on day one. So when you wake up to these reviews, it can shake you up because it's your film. And then I know Sandeep, I've done the film, and all these words these guys use, man, I have to Google them. Like, what does misogyny mean? I didn't find the time to Google it.
Just very anti-women.
Anti-women, okay. Is the film anti-women? See, yeah, so I know that Sandeep, when he told his story, for him that film is not anti-women. For him it's love. But, okay, I saw your interview with Sandeep. I loved that interview, by the way. It was amazing. One of the few interviews. I completely loved it. Now, when Sandeep, for example, when Sandeep says, in a relationship, you should be able to touch the woman, the one you love, you can touch the woman and you can abuse each other. And if you're upset with each other, you can hit each other. And that's how you show love. And that caused a huge outcry. Now I'm saying, I completely understand him. And I completely understand the people who have an issue with it as well. But none of us is wanting to listen to it for what he has to say. We want it to fit up. So imagine I have been in a relationship. Sandeep's probably has been in a relationship where he's loved someone so much that they were intimate as and when they wanted, they abused each other as and when they wanted, maybe they hit each other, but they loved each other and they were happy. But imagine I'm coming from a house where my parents were hitting each other, and when I hear something like this, it disturbs me.
Right.
So I'm saying it comes from the relationship you had as a person.
Your own experiences.
It comes from your own experience. So we can't generalize it that he's saying what he said in his way is right, because for him that's what love meant. And he absolutely respected that woman and loved that woman, and that woman loved him back. So what he's saying in his life, in his experience, is absolute. That's what a relationship means to him, and that's how passionate, that's how he shows passion, and that's how it was. And for people who've seen otherwise and who have a problem with that, it's like that. But we don't all have to. I think we should listen to him and be okay.
All of us,
yeah, we are all very unique individuals. We have very unique kind of relationships. But we want everyone to be like us, everyone to believe in the beliefs that we have. We want everyone to fit in this box. It doesn't work. And all of us want to judge, all of us want to jump into opinions, give out we want the first opinion out, the most liked tweet or whatever social media does this day, or the most shared article. Everyone's just jumping into opinions and doing judgments. And I don't even, for all those people who said, why didn't you get angry at him? There's one whole issue with journalism, because when you watch news, I feel like, am I watching a court?
Right. Everyone's just angry, yeah.
And everyone is passing judgments. I feel as a journalist, you're giving opinions, you're giving information. Now, I don't think any journalist's duty is to give a judgment saying, now this is right and this is wrong, and the opinion should be. But everyone's a judge these days, and everything is being judged on live TV, and so that's the state of affairs today. But that's how the world is, and there's you just have to live with it and be okay with it, right?
But Vijay, you also don't seem like somebody who minces his words. The interviews I've seen you do, where you've said, you know, that I want to do the kind of cinema I want to do. I don't want anyone telling me what kind of cinema. There was another place where you said, what, I'm averse to incompetence. You said, I want mentally stimulating people around me. So do you ever worry about coming off as arrogant? Do you ever try and little bit kind of, hold back?
I'm okay with people finding me arrogant. I'm okay with people liking me or disliking me.
But Vijay, you're an actor, you're a star. Isn't it your job to be liked?
No, I think my job is to act and tell stories. I don't think my job is to be liked, and I think eventually people. I don't want to imagine 6 years. Okay, imagine I be the person that is liked, fit those requirements, that is a likable actor. I'm working every day, man. I'm working 360 days in a year, maybe 350. I have 2-3 weeks off. 5 years later, I don't want to look back and see 350 years. Who's that dude? Like, I don't know him. I'm trying to be someone for people. So I believe that I mind my business. I do my work. I cause no harm, and I want to be the way I am, and people will get used to it. I think they should get used to me more than me adapting myself for them. Yeah, I think that's a better way to go about it. It makes my life easier.
You can be yourself.
Yeah, it's easier, no? It's less work. Always there's so much work. Now I can't be one more guy, be nice and... I come across as arrogant, do I? Do I?
Well, when you say...
But who doesn't dislike incompetence, man?
No, of course. But you know, people are just more like little diplomatic. No, they don't say.
You're saying I shouldn't say it.
Huh.
But they asked me, you guys asked me questions and then you say, why did you say that? Yeah. If you don't ask me, we are all happy. You know? I get asked questions and then I answer and then I'm written about it.
Tell me, are you in life impatient? Is that where the sort of, struggle with incompetency comes from? You need mentally stimulating. How can everybody be mentally stimulating? Most people aren't.
I just don't have them around me. I don't like them.
You say you aren't?
No, because there's so much there's so much I want to do. I can't be held up by someone not doing their job. And it's just common sense, man. Like everything is common sense.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah, and I don't know why it's so hard. And I only think when you're demanding of competency, will people try and live up to it. If you are okay with it, then incompetency pulls the whole film down.
Yeah.
And everything we do is so like doing this interview, you're dependent on 3 cameramen, these light guys, your staff. If it has to function properly, an editor later. If anyone screws up, this whole thing gets screwed up. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm impatient or patient. The issue is I don't know me. Like I get asked these questions. Are you this? Are you that? I'm like, I have no bloody clue who I am as a person.
Why?
Because I don't know. I feel like none of us are anything, and all of us are everything. In the sense that I think you're completely capable. I think I and you are completely capable of everything. Put in the right. I think humanly we'll be surprised by what we are capable of. I can't characterize myself as a patient guy, impatient guy, angry guy, peaceful guy because are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Because see, sometimes imagine I come to your house for the first time, I'll be a quiet guy. But when I'm with my boys, I'm the loudest guy. So am I an introvert or am I an extrovert? So it depends on the situation, depends on how you're feeling that day, depends on so many environmental factors.
You can be anything.
Yeah, I think if I was born in Congo, maybe I would be a rebel army guy shooting people. Depends where I am born, what do I have to deal with. So I think I'm everything, and so I don't know what I haven't figured it out yet.
You spend a lot of time thinking about it?
Not consciously,
You don't
but
introspect so much.
It's I do introspect, retrospect, all these specs, but I don't want to do it, but it's just happening. I'm sitting in the car, and then I realize that, dude, like something's running. I don't like that I'm not in control of this, but okay.
You said you want to do a lot. What do you want to do?
Anything that stimulates me at that point of time, anything that's possible. See, once I wanted to be able to pay my monthly rent, probably. Once, like life, it's constantly like once you are fighting for survival. I was buying bread that was about to expire, discounted. I would always go to the discounted section in the supermarket. I loved peanut butter, but I wouldn't buy it because it was really expensive. There was a day which I was recently talking to my dad. I was at my relatives. He had come and he wanted to go back, and I had to drop him to a bus. I went to the bus stand to drop him, and we wait. It was hot. It was summer, and every bus was packed to the hilt. So I was like, next bus. Every bus was, and there's an AC bus service. I was like, let's wait for the AC bus. After 40 minutes of standing in the sun, then he was like, no, beta, I'll go. And then there was one more crowded bus, and I didn't like, my father was like a 40-year-old man, 40, 44, and I was like, I don't want to ever see this. What is life? I don't want him to have to go through this. From that, recently I wanted to start a clothing line. I started it. There's other stuff I want to do, but I'll speak about it once I'm sure I can do it successfully. Right now, there's a bunch of things I want to do. Like, I'm very concerned about water. The water is like a huge crisis, and I think we are all being absolutely blind to it. And I see so much wastage, and I know we are all screwed completely if there's no water. Recently, I've been thinking about it, not doing anything about it like everyone. I'm also doing the same mistake, but one afternoon there was no water in my house, and we had to wait. I came back from the gym and there was no water. I had to wait 4 hours till shower came, till the water came, and suddenly I realized we had to fill buckets. I stay in like a very premium area in Hyderabad. It is like a disaster that's around the corner, and the thing is, none of us have foresight. We all wait for it to be the end, and then we figure ways. Mumbai is flooded. Now what do we do?
Right.
There's no water. Okay, now what? That's how we are. So I want to do something about that, but I want to find like a concrete thing, not put out one video or one tweet that will get lost in 10 days. But if you can create some actual change like that. So there's some bunch of things that I want to do
outside of cinema,
and there's some bunch of cinema I want to do. Tomorrow I might want to do something else. I don't know. So whatever, some article could trigger some stimulation, some excitement, and I might want to do something. So yeah, it's all, I live by the day, I guess. I live by the day.
Your clothing line is called Rowdy.
Yes.
And you call your fans Rowdies as well.
Yes.
Why? What does this Rowdy mean?
It started off with my first big event was my Arjun, in back home in Telugu film industry. We have something called audio launch. So before a film, we have this huge event where all the people who like the film, who like you, can come and watch you guys speak and your songs are played. I had an issue with the word fan because I find I was not very comfortable with the word fan because when I started off, these guys who we call fans and me were the same age. They were like college kids. I was like a young boy, and I felt like they all used to call me Vijay. Now they call me Vijay Anna, but then they used to call me Vijay, and I was like, "What's up, dude?" We used to speak like that, and then suddenly I felt like I feel like I had some issue with me calling them fan. I'm creating some. It felt odd that you are my fan, something of that.
You're creating a sort of hierarchy.
Something of that sort, and I wasn't comfortable using the word. And in that event, I ended up calling them my rowdy boys and girls because they were being really rowdy, as in they were shouting and
Boisterous.
they were boisterous. So I ended up calling them that, and since that day, I was calling them that because I need an alternative for that word. When I decided to start my clothing line, we had other ideas. I was like, why don't we call it rowdy wear? And also, why rowdy is, I feel like I've all these guys like me, all these people who turn up for my films and come to my events and stuff, they like me for who I am, and I got here by just being me, speaking my heart, following what I had to do. And a lot of times when I spoke the way I did, when I picked cinema the way I did, when I said no to cinemas, films the way I did, I was called arrogant. I was called you're not behaving like we want you to, you're not this is not how you should be and all. And I felt like being rowdy, what others would seem like rowdy, is what got me here. And I felt like I always feel like when they come to my event, I need to give them something to take back because they travel from everywhere to come. I just don't want to play my trailer and send them off. So I've always had this guilt of they've traveled so far to see me. Please give them something that's useful, even if it's like 2 lines, if 2-3 people get inspired by it. So from then every event I speak to them and stuff a little beyond cinema. Sometimes the content of the cinema itself is inspiring, so I can use that to communicate some philosophy, some train of thought to them. That's how the word rowdy and rowdy wear came.
You know, you have no connections within the film industry. You were one of the very few people who didn't come from a film family and has achieved such success. What do you think it is that's really enabled you to get this far? I know you don't think too much about, yourself and whether you're this or whether you're that, but is there a trait in you that you think really helped you kind of chase it?
I think you don't leave one stone unturned. You'd like do absolutely everything and more in your power to get things done. And I also think a huge reason for what I am today or where I am today is I've had all the inconveniences life could possibly give you. Like all the obstacles, inconveniences, hurdles. I think this is what makes you who you are, like makes you think the way you are, makes your choices. When dealing with them teaches you, then you're a survivor. You throw me anywhere, I'll deal with stuff and like figure my shit out. Yeah, I think life. I think life did that.
Just the struggle of it.
Yeah, just the struggle of it, and not. I think at some points I was angry with life. Some points I was like, fuck you, I will show you type to life. You almost feel revenge. Like and we always have the nature of comparing. There were times I wish my dad was a big director or producer when I wanted to be an actor. When my friends had this, you wanted this, but then you knew you didn't want to trouble your parents. But my parents, and also it's very, I think education and parenting are vital. My parents gave us the absolute freedom and strength to do whatever the hell we wanted, irrespective of the lack of resources or whatever. When lots of people, when I wanted to become an actor, when lots of people told me, because the chances of making it are so thin, that do an MBA.
Have a backup.
And I was like, you can't sail in 2 boats. You want to do that, do that. If you want to do this, do this. Like, figure what you want to do, stick to it. If you can't become an actor, at least stay in the surrounding, like assistant direct, write, direct, act in shots, do something related to your field, because you can't do banking and become an actor. That it won't work. So it's like, that was strength. Like, if your dad said, screw it, just do anything you want, it's okay. That gives you, that's like, okay, done, let's do. If everyone scares you, then, because at that age you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable to, even today we are vulnerable when 10 people tell you something, it can affect you. So, like, my mom and dad have always given us the space to do what we want. We were never scared. We had respect for my parents. There was respect and one certain sense of subtle fear, but we were never scared. I could speak to them about anything and stuff like that. So that helped, and my education, my schooling helped a lot.
In what way?
In terms of, I studied in a boarding school. It's called Sri Satya Sai Institution. The kind of education we got was superb in terms of, there was no TV. The only TV we had was post 7th grade. From 8th grade on, you saw 10 minutes of headlines in the morning, 10 minutes of headlines in the evening. That's all the TV you got. Newspaper you got every day. And you were shown one film a month. And you were living there 10 months a year. Education was solid, and you had so much time on your hand because you had nothing else to do, no one else to interact with. They would engage us with extracurricular activities. So you had to, every day we would have a huge notice board where there were all sorts of competitions. You could write something, draw something, and you could win small things like a chips packet or a rasmalai box, which meant a lot to us then. And also, to just pass time and keep yourself occupied, you had to mentally keep yourself occupied. And growing up in a hostel, I really liked it.
Makes you tough, no?
Yeah, it makes you tough. I'm a strong believer in spare the rod, spoil the child. I got hit massively as a kid. I know people have become very touchy about this, but I think if you don't, kids are like animals.
Whip them into shape.
Yeah, you need to. Like, if you leave, like, don't like something, they throw, cry. I think you need to. We are all animals, no? So I think you need. Why we are now domesticated animals. Little training. You can't. If you pamper kids, they'll all eat your head when they grow up. They'll all turn out to be brats.
But tell me, during that time of struggle, right, when you were buying that bread which is almost expired, was there ever a moment when you said, I can't do this anymore, screw it?
As in, I gave myself time till 25. That period is, I don't like to think of it. When I think of it, it scares me. So I've put it so far back in my memory that I don't even remember.
Really?
Yeah. I have forgotten chunks of my life. I don't remember. My whole intermediate, whole chunks are blank in my head. But when I speak with someone and when I recollect some stuff that happens, then I'm like, whoa, like, who is that? Who is this? What is this life? Like, it's like a film. It's like a script. Suddenly I decided, done. He becomes an actor and it's like, yeah. But what was your question? I forgot.
Did you ever want to give up?
Did I? I don't think so. I had no option. Like, I had nothing to lose. There is no giving up. You just have one option, that is to make it, or you continue living the life you had. But I did one thing. I gave myself time till 25 to make it as an actor, because I didn't want to be a 35-year-old still looking for acting jobs. I knew that. So like 25, you make it, or you figure out something else that you want to do. I really like cinema. So I decided that I want to get into writing and direction. So around my 25th birthday, I wrote a bunch of scripts. I wrote my first short, directed my first short, to see if I'm actually competent enough to direct. Once I directed it and edited it and stuff, I was like, I like this. I enjoyed it. Okay, this is an option. But around that time, I got my first film, which was which was a supporting role in a film called Yevade Subramanyam. I think you should watch it, you'll like it.
Yeah. Sandeep told me he saw that and he cast
Yeah,
you.
that's where Sandeep cast me from. So I did Yevade Subramanyam, and then it gave me faith to stick on for longer. I was like, okay, maybe you can do something. Yevade got really good reviews. The film did really well. But 6-10 months later, I found I was jobless still, and that was the hardest time, because I always knew that you give me one chance, I'm going to do such a good job that I don't have to look back. And I felt Yevade was that. When after that things didn't happen, I was shaken up. I was like, I just did my best and people loved it, but why isn't it converting? That was when I was really disturbed and moved. But I just spent all my time reading, watching cinema, talking to other directors like myself who weren't able to break in. And from there I met my director of Pelli Chupulu, which was my first solo lead film, which went on to become a huge success. Even Dear Comrade is by a director who I tracked then. We were all in touch then. I was like, we should work together, man.
You were all new.
Yeah, we were all, no one was we weren't able to break in. So we're like, okay, the idea then was, we all were speaking, we're like, let's make our small films. We'll make it in small films, we'll make these independent films. You guys have me as an actor. Whenever you have any script, I'm available and we'll work in this budget. So we thought that we'll do this, just us, a group of us, and we'll create more like us and make these small films. But the first film we did took such a huge not an opening at all, but it went on to do so well that then we all started doing mainstream cinema. Yeah.
Cut to superstardom.
No, but we still stick around. Tarun does his films, and all these boys are still making cinema with me. That's where Sandeep's also. I met Sandeep in that period. He was also not. He spent 6 to 8 years trying to break in, but never able to. We were all in the same space, and all these bunch of directors, and we'll continue to make films together. We are all now together curating other content. Now I've started a production house.
Oh, so you're going to be producing films?
Yeah, like I met a bunch it was not an idea, it was not intended, but I met a bunch of boys that reminded me so much of myself and Tarun, and I really liked their script. They came to pitch it to me as an actor. I really liked their script, but I couldn't do it because now the scale of my films and the kind of films has grown so much. But I love those boys. They were so talented, and if I did it, they would have got a producer, but they were not able to make it happen otherwise. So then I decided, okay, done. Let's make it, and I want this place to be a place where I give a break to myself, I guess. Like more people like me, and
you're giving back
in some way, because I know how that period it feels. No, it's horrible. You know that you can make it. You know you're super talented. I saw Tarun will make a crazy film. No one. Why isn't it visible to you guys? But I think it's really hard to spot talent. Most people bet on already proven things.
Of course.
Yeah. So I think like some of the people I'm very grateful is my director Nagashwin, who did Yevade, because he saw me as a raw guy, but he knew that there was something there. I think these are the geniuses that keep it going. Yeah. So I hope to do that. Yeah.
Tell me, Vijay, what's your biggest struggle now?
Sleep and food. I haven't had much sleep at all. And normalcy. Trying to keep things sane, normal. You need to.
That's a struggle.
It's not a struggle, but you need to work. You need to work at it. I dislike. I feel the strength of being an actor was living the life I did. Now, once you start getting distant from it, you lose the perception, or you lose the sting of it.
The feel, and just sort of your pulse.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And yeah, all my emotion, everything comes from the life I lived. Someone asked me, what is this anger we see on screen? Hemant asked me yesterday, who broke your heart or who made you so angry? I'm like, life, dude. The pain, everything comes from life, from what you've seen over 25 years of your life. I've just been 4 years as an actor, I think so. And 25 years I've spent as a boy living this life. So there's so much content to draw from. And
So now are you nervous that because you are now a star, you'll be, you're living a very luxurious life, will you be cut off from those sort of more basic emotions and impulses?
I don't want to be cut off.
Right.
So
But is that a concern for you that you might get cut off?
Yeah, it is a concern. So I keep asking. So now beyond my work, the only time I spend is with my friends from school, because they have nothing to do with cinema. Excuse me. And when we meet, we don't talk about cinema.
They're not impressed by your stardom?
No, not at all. Sometimes I wish they were a little bit. I'm like, dude, I worked really hard. Like, give me that at least. But it's really nice to have them. They are, and I stay home with my mom and dad. That's one. That's a nice comfort. Either. No. They are over the moon. But it's just nice to be home. And for me, it's really important to be like people. Tangible people are very important. I can't be alone. Normalcy around me is important. So yeah, is that my biggest concern? Are there any other concerns I have? The temporary nature of life is a concern.
So larger existential questions.
Yeah, I have lots of existential. Can we actually make? I'm like, let's save water. I'm like, can you? Is it possible?
And should you? Maybe we're all meant to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe, yeah. I love Thanos, man.
That's right.
I'm a Thanos supporter.
You're Team Thanos.
Yeah, I'm Team Thanos. I loved what he did. I'm like, Thanos.
You know he was psychotic.
But he had a solution and he was working.
How is killing off half the world a solution?
Because we are the problem.
Oh no, we are a problem. I agree.
then that is only the solution. Like, sometimes, yeah.
Does success, Vijay, make you more secure as an actor? Or does it make you want to do safer things because you have to preserve that success?
I've not thought so much about safety. First I went at it because I have nothing to lose.
But now you do.
Now I do, but now I have enough to pay my rent. So I'm like, it's okay.
You're okay.
Yeah, I'm like, you have enough to, like the life I lived for 25 years, I can live that kind of life for another 60.
You're sorted.
Yeah, so I'm like, you have lived with meager means, so it's not a problem. And I know I can survive. And I came, no one knew who Vijay Deverakonda was. They were like, who are you? And I came when there was not one person who came to a theatre for you. They came for content, but you didn't have a fan. I came without fans or without these boys and girls who I call rowdies. And so I know I can lose it all and I can make it again. So I guess that's why I'm not too bothered about safety. Every film I do, when someone watches it, they're like, oh, this is brave. Oh, this one was tricky, but it's good. But they excite me, and so far they're paying off. Maybe one day I will question, when they don't pay off, maybe I'll start scurrying for safe projects. I don't know how I will react, but as of today, I don't care so much. So I'll just do stuff that's exciting right now. Yeah.
Good for you. Please continue. I'm getting signals that your flight, I'm going to keep you back in Mumbai.
Nice, I'm liking talking to Anupama. Screw the flight, book the next one.
No,
Or we should
we'll get
talk
you.
on the way to the airport. Like,
Yeah. By the way, no, actually, this has been so great. I have enjoyed this so much.
Thank you.
And I'm dying to see, dear comrade. Please tell me whenever you have a screening here.
I will make it happen.
Please do.
With subtitles.
With subtitles. With subtitles.
Yes.
And this was really fun. I am so glad that the PAPs got you. Come back more often.
Done.
Thank you.
Lovely speaking with you. Anupama.
Thank you.
I hope you got some answers. Like, comment and share. Subscribe to Film Companion.